Let's talk about what it's like to work in the creative industry. Obviously, things could change even drastically. So instead of giving you the hyper-specific details about what's going on this moment, I'm going to give you a general sense of what's been going on with me working in the creative industry the last 10 years to give you a taste of what's out there. See, when I wanted to go into film, almost everybody I knew told me that I shouldn't. They told me I was never going to make any money. They told me I was never going to be able to make it. They told me that if I did make it, I would lose who I was. So far, none of that is true. Now, I haven't worked in LA, but I'm pretty sure that's not even the case in LA. The reality is that the video industry is astronomically huge. There's space for me. There's space for you. There is space. There's so much out there. Let's just kind of talk about the reality of the current situation, okay? There are more home devices and screens accessible to people than there ever has been in the entire history of the planet. Access to not only video content and entertainment, but even the tools needed to create video and entertainment have been democratized. Everyone almost has access to these things. The majority of the planet already has access to the internet. Apparently, after some loose Googling, I just found this out, 85% of the United States population already owns and uses smartphones on a daily basis. Globally, 78% of the entire globe owns and uses, currently right now, a smartphone. That doesn't seem possible, but it's from Statista, which I think is pretty verifiable. Like, the digital revolution changed absolutely everything. Pretty much any human being that wants to make a video can. YouTube exists because a bunch of hobbyists had access to video devices, made videos for years, and then turned it into a career. My point is, more people than ever before are watching, and more people than ever before are creating, which means that you have the biggest potential audience that you've ever had, and you have the biggest potential client pool than you could have ever had at any other time in history before this. Now is a pretty good time to get into video production, is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so I probably don't have to tell you, but we're going to run through it real quick anyway. What's going on right now? What's getting made? Well, you have Hollywood producing Hollywood movies. Duh. There's a lot of cinematic universes. There's a lot of reboots, remakes, sequels. There's a good amount of new creative content as well. You have the streaming wars. Even just 20 years ago, it was very hard to distribute content. Before the internet and in the internet's infancy, when it couldn't handle streaming big file types, the only way to get movies out to people was distributing physical copies. Obviously, that's why we all used VHS, and then we all used DVD, and then we all used Blu-ray. The advent of an internet powerful enough to stream high-definition video means that suddenly anybody with a smart device can access and watch that content, which means that the huge studios with massive infrastructures now no longer had a monopoly on audience sizes. You didn't have to have millions of dollars to distribute actual physical film reels to movie theaters. You could just publish it online and people could pay to watch. So, out Blockbuster, out Hollywood Video, out Redbox, in all the streaming services. And not only are there all of the ones that you know and probably watch, and not only are there all the subsidiary ones that a few people use and watch, but more and more are getting created almost daily and for more and more niche audiences. Entertainment, information, news, video is booming, baby. And then, of course, I mentioned YouTube, but we really haven't talked about social media yet. YouTube is a massive organization. There are thousands, if not tens of thousands of creators who make a full-time living through YouTube just by making their own content. And a lot of them are successful enough that they're hiring editors and other crew members to help them produce their work. And then, of course, we get to businesses and corporations that are producing products. The primary method of marketing nowadays is video. Not only do you need social media content, but of course you still need product explanations, customer testimonials, product reviews, corporate trainings. Not only that, but video is getting less expensive to make, which means that more people can afford to have cool videos, which is why so many people are starting to pay for wedding videos, graduation videos, birthday videos, celebration videos. Hire a videographer, have them capture the day with really pretty visuals, and then have that videographer himself or pay an editor to put that together into a fun, consumable, shareable video that people share on their Instagram and their own personal YouTube. Every single human needs and wants video consistently. I'm not saying all of this to try to overwhelm you. Instead, I'm trying to tell you there is space for you. And one of the things to do, which we'll get into more later, is eventually, as you're getting better of an editor, you kind of pick the things that you like to do the most, that you enjoy the most, that you can kind of specialize in, that you can get known for. And you can pick one of these specific niches to specialize all the way in and make money doing. So let me just read through this list really quick of all of the things that I could just come up with off the top of my head that are video productions that could potentially use an editor. Hollywood films for theatrical distribution. Our tours, independent filmmakers, and the film festival circuit. The rise of the niche filmmaker and the crowd-funded film. Truly independent films, student films, network TV, streaming services, reality TV, production houses and studios, internal corporate videos, corporate marketing, business marketing, event videos, big budget marketing and ad agencies, social media marketing, product videography, documentaries, personal and lifestyle videos, music videos, and music artist visual needs, internet culture and memes, influencers, vloggers, TikTokers, and YouTubers. So yeah, there's enough space. If you take the time to get good, you can get paid to edit.